Welcome to Back to the Bible. Week 2, Peace. Day 11, Something to Talk About. Collect yourself before God. The Lord looks down from heaven on the children of man to see if there are any who understands, who seek after God. Psalms chapter 14 verses 2. God's promise for today, Luke chapter 1 verses 65 through 66. And fear came on all their neighbors. And all these things were talked about through all the hill country of Judea. And all who heard them laid them up in their hearts, saying, What will this child be? For the hand of the Lord was with him. Consider today's truth. A public declaration. These days it is common to have a gender reveal party. Parents gather family and friends to reveal whether their coming child is a boy or a girl. They may loft blue balloons for a boy or release pink smoke for a girl. Whatever creative means they use, it is meant for joyful celebration. In similar fashion, Zechariah and Elizabeth gathered family and town people for a declaration about their child, not the gender, but his name. Their son was to be circumcised 8 days after birth, and it was unusual that he hadn't yet been named. Relatives didn't think that his name was much of an issue. He would be named after his father, of course. The fact that Elizabeth conceived was a wonder, and it seems obvious that they would not have any more children. Certainly, the child would be called Zechariah. Loosed lips. Elizabeth was clear. The boy would be called John. Zechariah had informed Elizabeth about Gabriel had told him. Both parents wanted to obey God and thus honor him for his gift of a son. Relatives argued with Elizabeth and looked for a final decision from Zechariah. For 9 months, he hadn't said a word. Since he couldn't speak, he asked for a tablet and wrote, His name is John. The confusion of the relatives shifted into astonishment. As soon as Zechariah wrote those words, his speech returned. He spoke the praise of God for all he had done. At first, Zechariah doubted, but Elizabeth conceived just as Gabriel said. His disbelief became faith, and in a moment of obedience, his faith became praise, a portent of promise. During the family celebration and Zechariah's loud, probably unstoppable voice, something shifted among the townspeople. Joy morphed to wonder, and wonder settled deeper as fear. It wasn't a fear of dread, but a sense of awe. Something large was happening. Zechariah claimed to be visited by an angel from God and was mute as a result. The elderly couple conceived when it was impossible to do so. The name of the child born broke family and town traditions. Now Zechariah was using every word he had saved from 9 months to praise God. The town recognized that God's hand was in all of this. They gossiped about the details until the hill country of Judea was filled with the story. The marketplace echoed it. People reflect on the reported events and wondered, what is God doing? What will this child be? God was with this child John. What did it mean? Receive God's promise. We can't do what God does. God's will and work belongs only to Him. But we can participate in His work in 2 fundamental necessities. We can trust and obey. That's the message from Zechariah. The promise of God is sure, and we are called to believe. When our faith is translated into obedience, our family, friends, neighbors, and strangers will marvel at what God is doing. Our faith and obedience become invitation for others to consider the ways and will of God. Let your life be a proclamation that God is at work. He will receive just praise from many. Reflect with God. Consider the truth of Luke chapter 1 verses 65 to 66 and respond to this teaching with prayer. God bless you.